lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
Wait a second. Now I think we're going. I think we're going now. I think we're going. Whew, okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for checking this out. Here we go. And yeah, I just got home. What the heck? Here we go. Okay. Literally hit play before I was nearly ready to start. So let's see what's going on. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. It is Saturday. No early show. Had to go out, see some friends tonight. Had a great time. Yeah, I just came back from a buddy's birthday, and it was a great crowd. And I'm just so happy to have seen so many people I hadn't seen in quite some time. Jake Dahl. Now let's get to you guys. What's going on? Mark Santucci. What is going on? The Professor. Justin. Mr. Bode. Good to see you, buddy. West Texas. Kurt, what's happening? 90s. Mark, are we allowed to ask any questions or only questions relating to sports cards, and are we allowed to ask music questions? Mark, put up whatever question you have. If it's something that I am willing to or qualified to answer or discuss or respond to, but please, the chat can have some fun too. What's up, Chris S? What's going on? Mr. T, now that you're 50, happy birthday if that's recent. Craig, what's happening? Jeremy, what's happening? Foul 5 ball. Not muted anymore, right? Good now. Okay. Been good for a bit now, I think. I hope. Okay. Right on. Yes. What's up, Dan? How are you? Good evening. Okay. I had a few ideas for what to talk about, but I got to tell you, I'm totally just disheveled right now. Okay, Joel's going to start it off right there. I did go to the big card show today in Calgary. Yes, I did. And I got to tell you that it was busy in there. I saw one person said that it was made them feel like the card shows back in the 90s. It was crowded in there. It's a nice big room. And yeah, I got there at about 10:30. It opened at 10. And it was busy. Apparently, there were like 60 people waiting to get in there before it opened. So the show was run by a guy named Darren Pollock. He runs Maple Leaf Sports here in Calgary. He's been one of the long-term LCSs here, and he's been running that show. He's done about 6 of them. I've been out of town for the last 3, so I was at the first and and this one. And yeah, it was an awesome show. I was very, very impressed. Hi, Chris C. Hello. What else were we going to talk about tonight, you guys? What else were we going to talk about? Give me something. Give me some questions. I'm going to go try and remind myself. Expo's coming up, of course. Expo's coming up. And one thing about Expo, so a lot of the Thursday night, I organize, I host a networking event at Jack Astor's. And this time, for the very first time, we've got Upper Deck is going to be providing the appetizers. I thought that was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Upper Deck's going to provide appetizers at the networking event, so that'll be fun, and excited for a lot of people to come. Any near pickups? I haven't picked up a lot lately. I do have cards handy, but I don't have anything really new that has come in lately. Nothing, actually. I haven't had a mail day in about 10 days, probably. What about you? What about you guys? What are your pickups happening? Chad, what's going on, Chad? What is going on? All right. Craig, random question. Did Canadians collect the Leaf version of 80s Donruss cards like the OP? Yes, they did, actually, Craig. They did. We did. They were as... I think people still liked Leaf, or just the Donruss. But yeah, the Leaf were out here for sure. I completely remember that. Okay. Did you hear the report about eBay report? I did hear that report. Heard that a little while ago too. I don't know. Listen, I'm not in the eBay business, but it seems kind of weird to me. But if that's happening, then hey, I'm sure they have reasons to do it that probably makes sense for them. I would hope so. But yeah, I mean, are we going to hear? Is it going to be announced or not? I don't know. I kind of think we will see. We will see. I did pick up a few cards at the card show today. So no new, like no mail days, but I did pick up a few things at the card show. Jake Dahl gotten to be a player ultimate record breakers Larry Robinson jersey. Oh, cool. Nice to add to the collection. Chris picked up a PSA 9 Gallery Hero stained glass. I love those. Those are so beautiful. Those are beautiful, beautiful cards. The Gallery of Heroes stained glass Kobe Bryant insert. Very nice, very nice. What I picked up a couple of actually picked up some Gretzky rookies today and some Lemieux rookies today at the show. And nothing crazy, but you know, Expo's coming up, and so I'll just show you guys what I picked up because it was a fun lot, and it's going to be with me at the Expo coming up, and then the Edmonton Expo as well. So here, let's show you guys these. And most of them are actually pretty nice. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's a unique lot here. So a Topps Lemieux rookie in a Beckett 7.5 holder. Pick that up, really nicely centered. And I shouldn't do this because I have a feeling some people are gonna say, well, how much is that? Are you selling them now? It's like I just need to settle with them and figure it out. But if anyone is interested, I guess let me know. But let me sit on these for a bit still. The BGS 7 Patrick Waugh rookie. And then a Trilogy Crosby rookie. This is a BGS 9. It's a all four subs are 9. It's numbered out of 999. This is it's a legit Crosby rookie card from Trilogy, which back at the time was an important set. That was in the lot. And then this is a really nice Crosby Young Gun was in the lot. So I now can say I actually own a Young Gun again. I hadn't owned a Young Gun for a very long time, but I now own a Young Gun. And then a Lemieux and O-Pee-Chee 6. Look at the centering on that. That looks really good. And then some Gretzky's. A BVG4 O-Pee-Chee. It's got a nice rough cut over on this edge over here. That's clearly off center. Huh. And then a O-Pee-Chee BVG5, certainly off centered, and a Topps BVG6. And to top off that lot was this here. The Blast from the Past, not the refractor version, but the Blast from the Past. So that was a pretty cool lot to pick up. And oh, wait. There's 3 more cards from it. 3 more cards from it still. The Topps 8 Mario. I just forgot these 3. Sorry, guys. It's been a rush of the last 5 hours for me. But here we are settling in. I'm going to settle into this. I'll hit my groove here. We got an 85 Topps Lemieux rookie and a PSA 8 holder. And a O-Pee-Chee 7. This one's really off center for the card. But it's a Lemieux rookie and a 7. So, and then this is a cool card because the population, I looked this up today. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's under 100, well under 100, I think. Considering that the PSA 10 Crosby Young Gun population is a lot more, and the card sells for so much, this is the Black Diamond rookie. And again, like the Trilogy, this was an important rookie back in the day. The Black Diamond. So that was pretty cool. I wasn't really expecting that, but sometimes the deal makes its way to you. And then I grabbed this too. This came from Mike, Drillers Inc. was there at the show, and he had all red and white in his showcases, almost all Detroit. And this was I think that's the M. It's got to be the M from Iserman from the back of the jersey. Actually, and my buddy Ralph sent me a picture of his today, and his has like the top of the Y and then the top of the Z from Iserman, from the Y and the Z there at the beginning. So convinced that this is the M from the jersey, which I think just makes this a superb card. I mean, so just beautiful. And the autograph and the foil is what a great looking card. What a great looking card. Okay, missed a bunch of comments. Let's see what you guys are up to. Mark Santucci went to the comics shop, Newbury Comic Shop tonight. Pink Floyd for 55. I can't speak to that, Mark. I can't speak to that. Jacob Dahl, in total, how many O-Pee-Chee Gretzkys do you own? I own, in my personal, so I have two. I have a PSA 7.5 and I have a PSA 4. And I have a PSA DNA copy where the card is autographed, of course. The card isn't graded. I had this PSA DNA'd myself a long time ago. It's the blue label. And it's actually, the card is gorgeous. The card itself is gorgeous. I think I might one day get that regraded if I ever decide I'm not gonna, hang on to it. But it's a beautiful card. Beautiful. That's it, Jake. Those are the rookies. And then whatever I picked up today. So I think there's one there, one or two. O-Pee-Chee. And the two I just picked up today, Jake, I think that's it. So the two here, likely not PC. So I love my 4. My 4 is beautiful. My Gretzky PSA 4 I absolutely love. And the 7.5 I've had since that one's not going anywhere. Bobby picked up a 74 O-Pee-Chee 1 cent gumball. Oh, Bobby, you know that's right up my alley too. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Thanks, Chris. Mark, last 2 weeks, no cards for me, and my friend didn't even go to the card source, Mark. Yeah, don't fall too far. Great Wall rookie. Mr. T says, with the ridiculous prices of hobby boxes for modern cards, I've been ripping vintage junk wax boxes and I'm having a blast. What does the chat think? More fun and potentially better ROI. More fun's pretty important, especially if you're not, if you're paying what they probably sell for, which isn't too much, then have fun with it. There's ROI in that right there. And if you hit a rare card, then there you go. There you go. Jake Dahl says, I would open up the junk wax vintage boxes. Yeah, for sure. Can't fault you there. I just collect, but yeah, I don't buy hobby boxes anymore. So occasionally a retail blaster or two. Yeah, Justin Bode. Yeah, those machines can be very cool. Very cool. All right, what else is going on? What else is going on in the hobby these days? Okay, Penguins Collector is coming up. Here's my question. Let's talk hockey card goats. Gretzky or Lemieux, Howe, Crosby. What are your next 5 hockey hobby goats? Such a good question. Such a good question. Gretzky or Lemieux, Howe, Crosby. So hobby goats. I think you have to put in McDavid, Ovechkin. Oh man, there's so many good. Like Guy Lafleur runs through my mind, but I don't think he's a hobby goat. And then of course you gotta define what is goat, because there's been a lot of discussion. I've been a part of that lately in the last month or so. And what really is a GOAT? Greatest of all time? Well, that's not really how we use it. Some people do. If you want to be really technical, then, well, there can only be one. But greatest of the era, so also spells GOAT. Actually, I saw, Rocket. Rocket Richard says Penguins Collector. But probably not, because not fair. So how can, is he Vezina and Art Ross? I mean, Vezina is clearly the pre-war Grail for hockey. think that goes without saying. I like to hear and entertain the argument for Howie Morenz. I think he's, an underappreciated, underknown, early pioneer superstar of the game. Howie Morenz for sure. But I think, for all intents and purposes, and to be just realistic with the way things are now, Vezina is the he's the pre-war hockey card goat for sure. Art Ross is probably right up there too. PWCC has complete sets, just about complete sets of the C56 and the C55 set going off tomorrow night. Me and Josh will be covering it tomorrow night, and it's actually pretty crazy. The C56s, which is the first set, the 1011s, they are mostly low grade, PSA 1s, 1.5s, the odd 2 maybe, and then the C55 set from 1911, those are more like PSA 4.5 or 4s, maybe at the low, all the way up to like 6s. So that's going to be fun to watch. That's going to be fun to watch tomorrow night. Lots of great cards going off there tomorrow. Jagger says autograph curator. Yeah, Jagger. I mean, I'm happy to name Jagger in there in that list for sure. I mean, a lot of people love to collect Jagger, but there's lots of players like that still. Is he up there? Forsberg? No, Forsberg's not, but kind of. I like collecting Forsberg. Mario, we haven't even meant. Well, Lemieux's in there. Lemieux's in there, of course. I'm looking at this card I just pulled out. It's a 7 patch of points, all-time points leaders at the time this card was made. The all-time NHL points leaders, 7 of them with patches front and back. So the card has on the front Gretzky, Messier, Ron Francis, and Marcel Dion. So your top 4 all-time point getters at the time this card came out. On the back, it's got Yzerman, Lemieux, and Sakic. I don't know if that's, well, that's what it says. It's called the number of the card is AF7, and then it says points. So at least 7 of the top. Maybe not maybe not. I don't know if Sakic's in there. Eddie Shore. Yeah, Eddie Shore is probably, is he the 3rd most important rookie in pre-war if you're only going to take, Vezina from the C series, Vezina, Art Ross, Howie Morenz, Eddie Shore? I think. Bobby, what do you think? You must have a thought. Mark says Crosby isn't a goat. I will give you Gretzky or Howe. Yes, Lafleur is better than Crosby. Okay, Mark. Okay. Old time hockey. Yes, sir. PWCC putting the PW for pre-war back in their name. There you go. Anyone with a trophy named after them is significantly revered. Yes. Yeah. Vezina, Art Ross. I mean, right out of those first 2 sets for sure. For sure. Penguin says, I think there's a difference between the game's goats, bad hobby goats. What does that say? Jagger doesn't have any iconic card. I think there's a difference between the game's goats. Sorry, I don't get the bad part there. Penguins. Chris C. I view Jagger like the Nolan Ryan of hockey because he played so long a career. Maybe he did play long. He had a great career. Stanley Cups, like Art Ross Trophy, at least one, maybe more. Jeremy says I've been organizing and going through old boxes. I will be busy for years. It's one of the nice things about the hobby. It can keep us busy for sure. Oh, not bad. And I think there is a difference between the game's goats and hobby goats. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Penguin. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that makes sense. Yeah, iconic cards are important. Although but what's an icon? Is it because his rookies were in 90-91? So there's just no real, like his O-Pee-Chee Premier rookie card. When that card came out, that was like that card. It's near, if it's not iconic for hockey, at least within the hockey segment, it's near iconic. It's got to be near iconic, for a card that's been out now for 35 years. I mean, that card was huge back in its day. It was huge. And then I did pick up today also some Nick Suzuki cards. Nick Suzuki. Again, just for the Expo, some trade bait, that kind of thing. The SP Authentic and the Ultimate. The SP Authentic's at a $9.99 and the Ultimate's at a $99. And it's interesting how The SP Authentic at a $9.99 well outsells the Ultimate at a $99. I don't know if that's the way it is across all players with these two cards, which most of them have nowadays, but it certainly is the case on these, because I was checking them out today, and it doesn't make sense to me. There's 10 times as many of these as the Ultimate out of 99. They're both on card. The autograph curator says Jagger Premier Rookie is probably the GOAT of 90 to 99 junk wax era hockey rookies. Yeah, I mean, it's is it? I mean, the Lindros at the time was such a big card, the score, but he didn't have the same career that Jagger did. Not as prolific as of a career, I would say. But what else comes out of the 90s? The Fedorov Young Gun. I mean, that was a big card too. The Fedorov was huge, but at this point, Jagger is definitely more of a hobby GOAT. Oh, there's Craig Cards calls out Fedorov for sure. Penguins collector Bobby Hull. I mean, growing up, guys, the Beckett magazines with the price guide, there were 3 cards that were the big 3 cards in the magazine. That was the Orr rookie, the Howe rookie, and the Bobby Hull rookie. Now, partially, the Bobby Hull rookie was one of the cards with the highest book value because it was the card number 66 in the set. So it was the last card, prone to elastic marks and that kind of thing. So how much of it is due to that? I don't know, but definitely part of it. So does that make it less important or more important than the Orr and the Howe, which are not, the first or last cards in the sets? Chris, see if I could pick one hockey box to buy and rip from 89 through 94 just for fun and not sell. What would it be? I think I loved when Upper Deck SP came out. The Iginla year was at 94. And then the next year, the year, those were always such nice cards. The 95s were nice too. And the 96s. So right from the Iginla year right through till because you're stopping me at 94, so I can't go into the Chara year, which would be a fun one to do too. There's probably something in there that is like something from Topps that's really cool. No, that was even later that I liked. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably go with an Upper Deck SP. I like that stuff. I liked it a lot. Justin, you're ready to join. Good to see you, pal. And 90s auctions, Ronek's Premier Rookie is far superior to Jagger's. I love, that's like such a passive aggressive way to pick a fight with the Jagger collector. I love it. Is that you, Josh, or is that John? Which one? Who's here from the 90s auctions account right now? Love it. The autograph curator. Let's get a little Sergei Samsonov, right? Sergei Samsonov was the big hit in that first year of Upper Deck SP. Not a Ginla. It was Sergei Samsonov. Mark Savard was in there too. He was good. Yes. I'm gonna guess this is Josh. The hull is it's close to impossible to find a centered 1958 Topps Bobby Hull rookie card. Yeah, really tough. And I think maybe Bobby Burrell could confirm, but I think what I've learned from Bobby is that the card was in the bottom corner of the sheet. So for whatever reason, that made it more prone to being miscut or just cut off center. Mark Santucci, 86 baseball cards, and do you have any of them? These 86 baseball, but yeah, I don't have right now. 82 Cal Ripken, I've owned and I love that card, Mark. Absolutely love it. Don't have a Bo Jackson right now. Robert Scott, Ken Dryden, 6 cups in 10 years, greatest of his era. The 71 O-Pee-Chee defines the time. Yeah, the 71 O-Pee-Chee, it does define the time. It defines that. It defines O-Pee-Chee, really. Like, there's some other great cards, but I would say that I'm just feeling bad for Guy Lafleur. Like, I think that he's such an important rookie of the 70s as well. So does Dryden and Lafleur, Robert. So I'm going to say Dryden and Lafleur define O-Pee-Chee from 1968 through 1978. And then Wayne Gretzky comes in, and then, you know, the dawn of the 80s and all the great cards in the 80s. So yeah, I like thinking about it like that. Didn't Sidney Crosby just have his 40th, score his 40th goal? And Kucherov, I mean, Kucherov, this guy's going to score 150 points this year. Every day he just scores 3 or 4 points a game. It's absolutely ridiculous what this guy does. He could score 150 points this year. That would be crazy. Him, McKinnon, McDavid are leading the league in scoring. 133 for Kucherov, 131 for McKinnon, 128 for McDavid, and fourth place is down at 111 points. That's Artemi Panarin. Justin Bode loves the Premier Roenick. Zero bias, says Josh, who also lives in Chicago. Of course, zero bias, Josh. Penguins not in the 92 Stanley Cup Finals. LGC says, can you be a hobby goat and not win a cup? Well, yeah, I'd say you actually can be a hobby goat and not win a cup. Well, and not win a cup. So that there's two stages to that. That question, so far the answer in hockey, I think, is no. I think so far the answer in hockey is no. Because who has not won a cup and is a hobby goat in hockey? I don't know. No one comes to mind who is an obvious hobby goat, but there are hobby goats who have not yet won a cup. Connor Bedard is a hobby goat. Right now, he's a hobby goat. McDavid, Matthews, these guys are all hobby goats who have yet to win the cup. Right now, they are hobby goats, but the question is, and not win a cup. Well, they still may win a cup. So it's you know, there's two different categories there, I would say. Will Ovechkin catch Gretzky? I'm again leaning back towards yes. You know, he's had a great second half compared to the first half. So, you know, he'll come back again next year and we'll see what happens. I think he can. Will he? Maybe. So hard to say for sure, but Justin Bode, I do love good stuff. Both these 05, yes, for sure. McDavid changed the rule. Mark Santucci, where's Austin Matthews? Well, he's first in goals. He is 8th overall in points. He has 99 points going into today. Don't know, did they play today? I don't think they did play today. Yeah, and he scored a goal. So he had his 100th point tonight. Austin Matthews has hit the 100-point mark for the season, which is pretty great. But, you know, he's still 35 points behind Kucherov, which is just crazy. Trout and Griffey in baseball, for sure. I think it's easier to be, you know, an all-time GOAT in baseball and not ever have won a World Series versus in hockey. I just think it's more, and Ted Williams, like, there you go. Like, these guys are they, you know, is Babe Ruth the one GOAT, but they're definitely, you know, greatest or among the greatest of their eras at what they specialized in within the sport, especially in baseball. So Professor says, the Hockey Night in Canada cameraman Gretzky rookie card auto that you have shown. Yes, that's the one I was referring to earlier. That is the one. Do you think there will be a resurgence of doing on-card autos and not just pack-pulled autos? Well, there is. I think there. No, I don't. Because back then, you know, you had very few cards to choose from. Now you have so many cards to choose from. But then again, they're like, what a nice project to take upon yourself. You know, if you're someone who has the wherewithal to collect, you know, O-Pee-Chee paper every year or one year even, collect the whole set, however many cards is in that set, I couldn't even tell you. Collect that whole set and send them away for through the mail autographs. I mean, that's a pretty good project, but is it going to be? No, I don't know, Professor. I don't think I don't think so, but I guess you never know. You never know. Penguins collector, I think if you have a 6-figure card with no cup, still makes a hockey hobby goat. Yes, for sure. I think so for sure. Oh, I think McDavid is clearly a hobby goat. He is among, right now, he's a hobby goat, if not the hobby goat for hockey, for active players. I mean, Connor Bedard's certainly given him a run for the money just in terms of all the transactions, but Dan Marino is a goat without a ring. Yes. Barry Sanders. Yep. Yep. Ali says, what are those 2 card display wall mounts to my left? Right there. These are from Pather Plastics, Pather. That's what they are. They hold 24 slabs, graded slabs. So in one of them, in this one here, these are all PSA slabs. These are the first 2 years of the game used jerseys that Upper Deck put out, 96, 97, and 97, 98. Missing a couple cards, missing 1 card from the first set and 3 cards from the second year. And then this showcase here there's 23 cards in there, and those are some of my favorite tag slabbed cards in my collection. That's what they are, Ali. Yeah, they work pretty well. They work pretty well. And a lot of people ask what these are. And these are some people have asked, how big are those cards? Those are actual paintings. Those are actual original, paint on canvas paintings. The Professor, do you feel the hobby's in sync with giving patch cards with no autos the same importance as patch autos? No, I mean, there are exceptions, of course, but I think that auto patches are. Do you feel the hobby's in sync with giving patch cards the same importance? No, I think auto patches are more important, and I don't think the hobby is equating auto patches with just patches. Personally, Professor, if I understand the question, Justin, I love them pack pulled autos, but you gotta swim and swim. What do you mean? Just to get them, swim and swim? Yeah, I like pack pulled autos too. I mean, I like a card that's designed for the autograph, and I don't collect many autos, but ones that I like, they're like the SP Authentic, the SP Authentic. Or when the player look how Steve Yzerman with his autograph, look at how he respected those autograph boundaries. He doesn't hit that gold foil once, not at the S, not at the top of the Y. And when he signs his jersey number 19, he doesn't touch any of the foil. That's a well-placed autograph, Steve Yzerman. Very well. But look at how Upper Deck always does such a great job with the future watches. Always gives a nice space for the autograph. And some players who have these crazy, vertically aggressive autographs can hit some of the glossy pictures area, but they give the players a lot of nice room to sign those cards. Brendan Ryan, it's so overdue to replace GOAT with a new acronym in the hobby. Yeah, for sure, Brendan. Fire Sports cards, Barry Bonds, no rings. No rings, and controversy as well. Ali, you need to get a showcase display, but I want to make sure my cards are secure. Yeah, these are not. I mean, you can just lift that off the wall. That's not a very secure showcase right there. Hits and Chick says Gretzky undervalued. All right. As far as what the challenge with Gretzky values, as far as modern cards go, is that each year more hit the market, whether it's autographs or cool inserts. But the nice thing is that you can just pick your favorite cards each year and just collect those. Bo, who is Chicago Cubs one. Did you guys hear about this? About what Bo did? Bo just hit his 1 millionth Chicago Cubs baseball card, and Topps featured him gave him a 101 Superfractor. Super cool. He's been working on this for a long time, and he's getting a lot of attention for it. Really, really, really cool thing. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because I was thinking about player collectors who want every card. And there's still player collectors who want every card, even considering how many cards come out each year. And that's a lot of cards to get. A lot of them look the exact same too, for, you know, with subtle changes and more drastic changes. But so, you know, my favorite way to do it, and the way I try to do it, is just not be a slave to the overall checklist, and whether it's a player's checklist or a set, whatever, and just pick your favorites. Pick your favorites. Chris C. Yep, like the baseball hoppers sign well. Yes, they sure do. They sure do. All right, some talk about arm wrestling. Opalicious says arm wrestling is a niche sport with a storied history. There's a new promotion that has the world's best against each other every couple months. They sell signed cards from all competitors. Future value. I mean, that's super niche, right? Like, that's like bowling cards or dart cards or billiards cards, that kind of thing, which I know Leaf does bowling, but you know, curling, are there have we seen curling cards before? They kind of look like that, Bopalicious, you know, but there could be a pretty loyal following of people who, you know, what was the Over the Top? Was that the Sylvester Stallone movie? Loved that movie as a kid. Who here liked Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone as a kid? I haven't watched it in a long time. I don't know what I think of it now, but there were people. I felt like there were people, at least in that film, who were following the circuit. So maybe you'd sell 1,000 sets a year or something like that. Justin Bode, my showcase in the background are bad to the bone, baby. Justin. Oh, Justin. Good to see you, pal. Good to see you. Bo Who from the Cubs. Bo Who. Not a player from the Cubs, Mark Santucci. Bo is he's Bo. Let me find him. He's active on Twitter. Or X. He's very active on X. Let me find him for a moment, because, you know, go check this out. It's a pretty, why is it coming up for me? It's a pretty cool story. Oh, 1 Million Cubs, I think his name is, maybe. Was it ONE? Yes. So his Instagram handle is spelled out, all letters, 1 Million Cubs. That's the Twitter handle. And yeah, he just hit 1 million cards. And I saw him this morning on Hobby Hotline for a little bit, and he was talking about what that's like. He said it's like if you lined up those cards, it would be 55 miles of baseball cards. 55 miles, he said. And then he was talking about how many binders it is. You think about a binder with 800 cards, and you might have 20 of those binders. Well, no, you need 1,200 or so of those binders to hold 1 million cards. It's a pretty cool project here. Just that's I'm just looking at Tops retweeted his tweet here, I guess, about him hitting it, and just, you know, a little bit of a, I'm his wife, she says. So there's some attention being bestowed upon him right now, and that's his Twitter or X handle right there. You can see. So pretty cool. Yeah. 1 million Cubs cards. Wow. Okay. Bopalicious follows up. Arm wrestling is growing exponentially due to the popularity of Devin Larat, a Canadian. They sell the set for $150. Cool. Well, Bopalicious, I look forward to watching like the Netflix, documentary on that. I think that'll be fun. I'm sure it's probably already in development at this point. Craig's Cards, just got my first Pro Set Stanley Cup hologram kind of hockey card. Mount Rushmore, definitely the best 90s card ever. Never pulled one, Craig's Card. I never pulled the Stanley Cup hologram. I remember chasing the Lombardi trophy that came out like just before the Stanley Cup hologram from Pro Set Football. Yeah. Congratulations, though. I saw one. I was watching it on eBay. It was a PSA 6, I think. I saw that one just got snapped up. Just as I say eBay, a reminder goes off on my phone for a card on my watch list. Right when I said it. How crazy is that? It's a Patrick Waugh card. Just watching it out of curiosity. Beautiful Patrick Waugh auto. That's ending in 15 minutes on eBay. Not mine. I'm not going to bid on it or buy it. I was just watching it because it's a fun card to watch. I just think it's beautiful. Anyway, that just went off on my phone. So yeah, did you get that one, Craig? I wonder if you did. Bopalicious says, John, Berserk is the Gretzky of arm wrestling and was in Over the Top. Still going 40 years. Really? John Berzank is the Gretzky of arm wrestling. He was in the movie. Oh, how cool is that? And he's still going. I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna YouTube his name after. John Berzank. Perfect. I can check that out. Bo is so Eric Stefan knows who Bo is. 1 million unique Cubs cards, guys. Not doubles. 1 million unique Cubs cards. Cubs cards he has. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, Chris C. Mine was Blades of Steel too. Blades of Steel for me as well. I mean, that's just my vintage, you know. For sure. Rocky was me for a kid. Over the Top came later, early teens. For you, Mark Santucci. What's the arm wrestling league called? Yeah, East versus West. Justin Bode, do you want to get a pro set? Justin Bode, are you coming to the Expo? Why don't you come to the Expo? You should come, man. You should come to Expo. Chris C. says 1 million Cubs cards is insane. Wonder if he has a Harry Carey one. I wonder. Chris Perkins, what do you think of the Bobby Orr Calder card? To me, it's one of the most beautiful from that era. Oh, Chris, I'm not. Oh, yeah. Is it that? Is that the horizontal one? Which I gotta see a picture of it. I gotta see. Oh, wait. Jeremy says they are not unique. He has doubles. Okay, well, interesting. Oh, Chris Perkins says no. Oh, it's blue and red. I gotta go look for it. I gotta go look at a picture of that one. Yeah, Skeppy. Late session tonight. Couldn't do an early show. Had some plans. Had a great time. Went out. My buddy's birthday. And you know how you got friends where you got your circle of friends, but you got your buddy who you've known your whole life, and then here they are. They've got their circle of friends that you see at their life events and celebrations and that kind of thing. And then you get to know them over the years. Well, I mean, I've had like experiences like that. Well, tonight it was his birthday, and so there were a bunch of people that I've gotten to know over the years through him that were all there that I hadn't seen in many years. So it was a really nice, really great evening tonight. Just got to see a lot of people that I hadn't seen in quite some time. So had a wonderful evening, Skeppy. And yeah, so here we are, late session. Just going to do a quick after hours here. Nothing really planned, pretty much completely freestyling. Who else is coming to Expo? Justin Bode, your employer. Oh, if you can, yeah. Well, try to come, man. Try to come. You'll make it if you can make it. All right. Well, yeah, you'd like it there a lot. You'd go crazy. You'd run around with your like you have your head cut off. You'd love it for sure. For sure. Chris C says, do you ever think there will come a day where we value Hall of Famers over hyped rookies? It's crazy to me that Wembanyama cards go for more than Tim Duncan. I know. What would be? Yeah. See. No, I don't think I don't think the human condition can allow for it. I just don't think so. It's these shorter attention spans nowadays, and what's in front of me. So I think one of the things with a guy like Wembanyama is that there's hope that he could be like one of the greatest ever. And Tim Duncan, although many consider a top 10 of all time, is he, a top 5 of all time? And really, where do you have to be to break into the elite levels of values of cards? You have to be like Jordan, Kobe, LeBron James, Steph Curry, that kind of thing. And, yeah. So you have to be top 5, I think, to be way, way up there. And I think people are always hoping that somebody new is going to be an all-time top 5er sort of thing. And that's what we're seeing with Connor Bedard. It's what we're seeing with Wembanyama. And, it's what, to a degree, with Shohei Ohtani. And of course, you see it almost every year in basketball, whether it's LaMelo Ball or Zion Williamson or Luka, who, some of these guys will be, well, some of them, one among these recent guys may become maybe it's Wembanyama. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know that we're ever going to have a Hall of Famer who isn't a top 5 guy outsell the one of the most hyped prospects of all time. And we're going to continue to have among the most hyped prospects of all time as time goes by. Yeah, that's right. Autograph curator. Find a new employer, Justin. Yes, you would love it, buddy. LGC calls it out. GSP is coming to the Expo. Georges St. Pierre is coming to the Sport Card Expo. How wicked is that? That's going to be a big draw. I mean, we had Mike Tyson there last time, and the crowds were out of control. Dennis Rodman coming here in 3 weeks to the Expo, and now Georges St. Pierre as well. Like, they're William Shatner. They're kicking it out of the park. Seems he could be injury prone. Always an issue. Autograph curator says Steve Nash is the basketball GOAT. Period. There you go. You loving this, Justin? Right on. We had a good night too, hanging out with your girlfriend, as you mentioned earlier on. All right, let's do this. I want to see what's going on. It's coming to the end of the hockey season, and you've got all the races going on, the playoff stuff, but I like to look at what's going on at the individual level with the points, the goals, the wins by goaltenders, the goals against average, shutouts, all these things, and to see who's really standing out. And then you think about, like, where does the hobby stand on some of these guys? And so here, let's look at the top 10 in points. Maybe we'll go deeper. The top 10 point leaders in the NHL right now, and how many of them are really on the hobby radar. Number 1 is Nikita Kucherov, Tampa Bay Lightning, 133 points plus, probably is half a dozen today. I'm kidding. 133 points. Hobby love, almost none. And he's number 1. Number 2, Nathan McKinnon. Gets hobby love, but not like number 3, Connor McDavid. And McKinnon, is a beast, an absolute beast. So Kucherov, almost no hobby love. McKinnon, he will ride the wave. He will get more if they go deep in the playoffs. McDavid, tons of hobby love. Artemi Panarin, no hobby love in number 4 spot. In the 5 spot is David Pastrnak, Boston Bruins, 106 points. Hobby love, a little bit. Mikko Rantanen plays in Nathan McKinnon's shadow in Colorado, 102 points. 6th place in scoring right now in the NHL. And a consistent point getter year over year. Hobby love, like there with Pastrnak, maybe a bit more than Pastrnak. I see Rantanen seems to have some collectors. And then number 7 is Leon Draisaitl. Obviously, plays with McDavid in Edmonton, 101 points. Last year, he was, among top 3 scorers. Maybe he was second, I believe. Not having a great repeat year, but still over 100 points. Draisaitl, hobby love. Better, I would say, than Rantanen and Pastrnak and Panarin and Kucherov. But which is actually pretty good. Maybe he gets too much hobby love because he's for where he is right now. But Austin Matthews in the 8th spot, lots of hobby love. JT Miller in the 9th spot. And by the way, Matthews hit 100 points tonight. JT Miller in the 9th spot with 96 points, 0 hobby love. And number 10 is William Nylander on the Toronto Maple Leafs, 95 points. I mean, he gets some love from Toronto fans, but that's it. So, and then 11 is Sam Reinhart with his first 50-goal season. Hobby love, 0. Philip Forsberg in the 12th spot, 87 points. Hobby love, like very close to 0. Quinn Hughes, the top scoring defenseman, 86 points. That's crazy for a defenseman for Vancouver. Tied for 13th with Sebastian Aho of the Carolina Hurricanes. Quinn Hughes, hobby love. He gets some. He's still kind of a, following those Cale Makar footsteps for now. Okay. That's where that's at. And you can just see that hobby love and performance on ice do not always run in concert. 90 says, in my opinion, is there a difference between spring and fall expo? Most people will tell you the fall expo is better. I mean, it's really good if it's because the spring expo is really good too. So like, I'm not going to go against grain and say, well, it's not any better, but what's better? I mean, I think this Spring Expo right now with all the Bedard mania is going to be the best Expo we've ever had here 3 weeks from now. But most people 90s will tell you that the Fall Expo is better. So I don't want to, give you a minority opinion on that. Chris C says, in baseball prospects, you don't get that opportunity. See Jackson Holiday. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just one example for sure. Robert Scott lives 15 minutes from the Expo. Oh gosh, that's so convenient. So convenient. Hits and Chick says Sidney Crosby is not talked about enough within mainstream media and the hobby. I know. He's an all-time great. He's an absolute all-time great. All-time great. And guys, with Expo coming up, remember Thursday night, just for new people. If you've been here for the last 50 minutes, I've said it, but for people who've come and gone, Thursday night Expo, the networking event after the show closes. Show closes at 8. We got the reservation at Jack Astor's, and Upper Deck is supporting the event and providing the appetizers. So come on in and grab an appy for sure. Mark Santucci says, do you think Nikita Kucherov of the Tampa Bay Lightning doesn't get hobby love because he plays for Florida team? Yes, Mark, I do think so. I think you're onto it there, Mark. I think that is a big reason why he doesn't get a lot of hobby love. You put him, you put him on. Yeah, you always want to say you put him on the Rangers, but it doesn't seem like the Rangers don't seem to get players that recently that attract. Well, Lundqvist did, Shesterkin did, but yeah, you put Kucherov on on the Oilers, you put him on the Leafs, the Habs, the Rangers, Boston, Detroit, all these teams that Chicago that just, especially the original 6 teams, you're gonna get some hobby. You're gonna get your share of it, and if you're the leading scorer in the NHL, for sure. Justin Bode says, if I do Expo, I'm doing fall, unless I tell my boss to get lost. Yeah. Well, I mean, there comes a point when you got it. Well, just depends, I guess. At some point, do you want to just, come? Well, the problem, Justin, is if you come once, you'll be coming every time. So you might have to get a new job. Seriously, because you'll just be like, I'm not putting anything ahead of this because this is awesome. Chris C says, I think that the teams the players are on can help or hurt them in all sports. People want guys with rings like Mahomes. Yeah, I think long term, people want guys with rings. People want players who are going to be remembered. That's, I think, a really important part for sure. You're coming to Expo? Yes, you probably told me that, Josh. But awesome. Josh from 90s Auctions, everybody, will be at the Expo. And Josh, I hope you'll come and linger on my booth a bit. I'll introduce you to everyone that comes on by. Hits and Chicks, who is the best fighter in the NHL as we speak? I do not know that at all. Hits and Chicks. So hopefully someone else in the chat can fill you in on that, because I am not sure who the best fighter is right now. We don't see as many fights as we used to, though. All right. Autograph Curator says the Expo should set the pricing on the Bedard. There's no way. Come on. What are you talking about? The Expo should set the pricing on the Young Guns. That's ridiculous, right? Autograph Curator. The show cannot set the price of what a card's going to sell for, but wishful thinking. They can, the distributors and the card shops can collude on how much to sell the unopened product for, but they cannot tell each other what to sell. You have to be joking, but that's funny to think about. Ty Domi was one of my favorites for sure. When he got traded to Winnipeg to basically be Teemu Selänne's bodyguard, those were the days. Those were the days. Reeves, or is there a guy in Columbus who can throw? I am not sure who the best fighters are. Do you guys listen? I know many of you do, but you guys listen to the Hockey Cards Gong Show podcast? And I did an episode where, guys, Josh and Troy are the co-hosts, of course, and Troy was away, so he couldn't host. And so I subbed in for him as a guest host with Josh. This goes back a couple weeks now. And one of the segments that I brought to the show was trivia. And I came up with some trivia questions, which was a lot of fun to go through and think about. But one of the trivia questions, this was like trivia questions I couldn't expect Josh to be able to answer, or anybody, but it was still fun to think about. You know, you think about Hall of Famers and rookie cards and all that. And I'll go to comments in a second there. A couple of funny ones, but one of the questions I asked Josh trivia wise was, of all the hockey sets in the 1980s, which one produced the most rookie cards and which one produced the fewest rookie cards, and then can you name them? It's a tough question. But you know, I'm sure there's some people that can certainly answer it, but it is a tough question. And when you look back through the 80s, and you know, I actually put together the stats on how many Hall of Fame rookies come out of every year. So I went through it. I went through all of the Hall of Fame players. And so you have some heavy years. You have the heaviest year ever in hockey cards in terms of how many Hall of Fame rookies it produced is 1951, which I bet some of you could have guessed that. But it's interesting. Most Hall of Fame rookies came out in 1951 or earlier. And by most, I will tell you that 121 Hall of Fame rookies came out in 1951 or prior, out of 259 total. So it's not most, but 121 out of 259 Hall of Famer rookie cards were issued in 1951 or earlier. And then it gets a lot because that's when all the pioneers were recognized, most of them. But you also have so many per year. 24 Hall of Fame rookies in 1951, 21 in 1933, 19 in 1923, 17 in 1910, and 10 in 1939. And then you don't have any year after 1951 that produced double-digit Hall of Fame rookies, except for 1 year. I'm sure some of you can guess what that year was. I'm just going to tell you. I don't know what Skeppy's talking about because I'm not reading the comments right now, but 1990 produced the most rookie cards of any year between 1952 and 2005. And there haven't been any rookie cards, any Hall of Famers whose rookie cards appeared in 2006 or later to get into the Hall of Fame as of yet. So I did all this research, and in the 80s, though, just to come back to the 80s now, between the 80-81 sets and the 89-90 sets, you have 39 Hall of Fame rookies. That was your guess, Skeppy. Yet you nailed it. You nailed it. 1991, Skeppy, out of curiosity for you, only 4. You have 13 Hall of Fame rookies in 1990, and you only have 4 in 1991. Solani, Forsberg, Lidstrom, and Hasek, I believe, are them. But 1990 is just filled up with Hall of Fame rookie cards. So in the 80s, you have 39 Hall of Fame rookies. So think about that. 1 decade produced 39 Hall of Fame rookies. And there could be a few more as more players get added. There could be. In the 90s, we have 28 Hall of Fame rookies so far. 28 Hall of Famers had the rookie cards come out in the 90s, from 1991 through 99, 2000. 28 of them. But back to the 80s. I keep on coming away from the 80s. Back to the 80s. The year with the most Hall of Fame rookies is 1981. 8 of them. 8 Hall of Fame rookies in the 81-82 O-Pee-Chee set. Top set was smaller, but there's some of them in there too. So it's 1981. And the fewest was 1986. You have 1 Hall of Fame rookie, and that's Patrick Waugh, which I picked one up today. So if you weren't here earlier and got to see it, that's this card right here. This is the only Hall of Fame rookie card in hockey from the 1986 season. And the 1985 season only has 2. That's Mario Lemieux and Al MacInnis. And then can you name them? Then the question was, can you name them? So I'm going to name them for you guys. In 1981, The Hall of Fame rookies were Denny Savard, Dino Ciccarelli, Glenn Anderson, Yari Curry, Kevin Lowe, Larry Murphy, Paul Coffey, and Peter Stastny. That's a lot, because when we look at cards today and you think like, well, who's going to be a Hall of Famer here? Well, so far in the 80s, we saw an average of 4 Hall of Famers per year, 3.9. So, you know, and that seems like a lot to me. It seems like a lot to me, because let's see what happened in the 70s. In the 70s, there are 25 Hall of Famers who had their rookie cards come out in the 70s. And there was 1 year that there's no Hall of Famer. That's 1972. No Hall of Fame rookie card was issued in 1972. No, well, at the time, no future Hall of Fame rookie card was issued in 1972. The average is just under 3. So if there's going to be 3 or 4 Hall of Fame rookie cards to come out each year, or players who make the Hall of Fame and have their rookie cards come out each year, then you might think that, well, that should be going on right now. So every year you can look at the checklist and look at the rookies and pick out who those 3 or 4 Hall of Famers are going to be. Of course, it's not guaranteed, but it's something to think about when we think about what's the lasting value. Will these players be relevant? Or as the years go by and the Hall of Fames get bigger, will it be diluted too much? Is another thing to think about, I guess. I don't know if you guys are interested in this at all, but I'm super interested in this kind of, you know, the way the hobby history ties into the game itself and the players, and I find this super interesting. So hopefully I'm not putting you guys to sleep. If I am, I apologize. Let's come back to the autograph curator's comment here that the Expo should set the pricing on the Bedard Young guns. I think that'd be hilarious. Love that. Robert Scott says, so happy for Crosby. He's willing that team into the playoffs. He doesn't get enough credit for being one of the greatest leaders in sports. Yeah, right on, Robert Scott. Right on. I'm a huge Sidney Crosby fan. I'm a big believer that he is easily, you know, the next in line. Along that line, I like to say Gordie Howe, Bobby Orr, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Sidney Crosby. Those 5 guys right there. Charizard never lost a hockey fight. He's never won one either, though, LGC, okay? Let's go. He's never won one either. Ali, that trivia was awesome. Oh, good, you did. Thank you, Ali. I'm glad you listened to that episode of The Gong Show. The Gong Show. Justin Bode, I love how Young Guns gets respect. It's great for hockey. Just imagine a world where we got no respect. Yeah, I mean, our Cup gets respect too. You know, RPAs get the respect as well. But I hear you, Justin. It's good that there's a flagship hockey set every year. Of course, it's great. Craig's Card says, what is the deal when crossing the border with cards? Yeah, you know, I think the deal is you can take cards across the border. Now, if you take cards across the border and you've got like price tags on them, you could be asking for them. You could be asking for, you know, a few more inquiries on the parts of customs to see what are you really coming down. What are you coming to? Are you coming to conduct business? That kind of thing. But if you're just bringing cards across the border, I don't think that there's a problem with that. But you cannot take anything I say to be real good advice. Mark Santucci says, fighting is dumb. Scoring goals is what needs to be done. The Bruins can fight and the Canadians can score 9 goals. if when that happens. Tita says, Russians don't get enough hobby love, all else being equal. Yeah, that's kind of been the trend historically. We do have exceptions to that. Pavel Bure gets a ton of hobby love. And of course, Alexander Ovechkin does too. But yeah, I mean, you look at Kucherov and Vasilevsky, they got Tampa working against them. Autograph says, crossing the border with cards are fine. They are personal belongings. It's the cash they'll be concerned about. Yeah, they'll be concerned about the cash. If you tell them that you have $10,000 or more, they're going to count your money and they're going to look for more of it. It's happened to me. Now, if you tell them, so I went through once and I knew that if I had $10,000, I had to declare it. So I did what any, thinking person would do. I took $9,900 with me. And when I went through customs, they asked me how much money I had. I've learned not to lie. So I said I have $9,900. Well, they hauled me behind and counted my money. and they were looking to see if I had any more to put me over 10,000. So don't think you're gonna avoid the questions if you take just under $10,000 with you. But if you do 10 or more, you have to declare it. The fact that I didn't have to declare it and I didn't hurt me. They gave me my money back and sent me on my way. But yeah, maybe you could get by and say I've got $8,000 on me or something. They may not count it, but I wouldn't count on that either. So T-Dot says that Rempe is the best fighter and the most exciting. Professor lets everybody know it was episode number 173 of the Hockey Cards Gong Show that I just co-hosted with Josh. Great episode, slightly different than Sports Cards Live as it is not a live stream. Yeah, and I love the Gong Show, and they have segments. They have a formula for their show, and they mix it up, and they're just great to listen to. Professor says it is nice to know which hockey player is selling the best on Instagram posts, but it would be nice if it could be posted which cards of each player are selling the best. Yeah. So what that reminds me of, Professor, is in Beckett magazine in the old days, the hot list in the magazine. Every sport would have its hot list for the month. And I think that's, now that's only going to be 25 cards, let's say, and you're probably looking for much deeper data than that. But that's what that makes me think of. And I wonder, it seems like the card ladders could potentially come up with something like that, or somebody could, even scrape that data and do it. But yeah, that's a great idea, Professor. I'm surprised there must be something out there already, but maybe not. You might have to just customize your search and come up with that data yourself. Professor also says, since I interviewed Jagger at the National, do you have a sense of when he might retire? His number is retired. I mean, the guy is 52, 51 or 52, and he's still playing hockey. My sense is he will retire soon, Professor. He's very old for a hockey player. My sense is very soon, very, very soon. Sorry, I'm behind here in the comments. These are already 5-6 minutes ago. T-Dot, how long ago? 5 minutes ago said 1980. I'm guessing you were guessing that was the year with the most Hall of Fame rookies in it from the 80s. There's 5 Hall of Fame rookies that came out of the 1980 year. T-Dot, Messier, Gardner, Goulet, Bork, and Rod Langway. Thank you, Penguins. Says, appreciate you doing a late nighter tonight. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun. I missed all of you. I missed all y'all. Chris Perkins, do you have the 54 Tops hockey set? I don't have the set, Chris. I have the Gordie Howe. I have the Gordie Howe in my collection. And I love the card. I think I have it right here. I think it's in this box right here. No, it isn't. That's not this box. Not this box. This is my box of, this box is cards that I am going to be bringing with me to the Toronto Expo. This is one of 2 Expo boxes. No, the box with my 54 Tops Gordie Howe is in a secure location at the moment. Ali, more Hall of Fame in the 80s, probably because the game is different now. I'm not sure that Kevin Lowe would make it in nowadays. And I'm an Oilers fan. Yeah, so Kevin Lowe was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2020. 2020. So not that long ago, Ali, not that long ago that he made it in. And I thought that was a controversial one myself. I mean, he had a great career, but Stanley Cups, but is he a Hall of Famer? And you just think of where he fit in on that team on the Oilers. Like, he was a great player, but was he, even on the Islanders and their dynasty, Clark Gillies is a Hall of Famer too. And I'm not saying they're the same player or anything. I just mean, how deep on a championship team do you go, that like a dynasty team, for as far as how many players make it into the Hall of Fame? You think maybe 3 forwards, a defenseman, a goaltender. You got Billy Smith, you got Denny Potvin, and then you got Bossy, Trottier. I mean, it can go pretty deep. Gillies, of course, I said so. Yeah, interesting. But that's not that long ago. It's only 3 years ago, as far as Hall of Fame years go. Skeppy says it seems that out of the 4 major sports, that hockey has changed the least in the way the game is played. I wonder if the consistency of Hall of Famers has been better over the years versus the 3 other sports. That's a deep question, Skeppy. I don't know if I can get my head around that one right now. But it seems the game, yeah. I mean, there's so much. What a great Skeppy. I gotta say, great question. Like talking about it, I think you could put people up on a panel and discuss this question for quite some time, a full discussion around just this topic, because first you've got to talk about what's going on in each sport and then kind of compare it all. So interesting thought process experiment right there. Chris Perkins, you don't have the Gordie Howe yet. Well, yeah, that's the key card, but enjoy the process, man. Enjoy the process for sure. Ryan Roddy, do you prefer to collect players you grew up watching or players that you watch currently in the league? So players I grew up watching, Ryan. Players I grew up watching. I enjoy collecting them more than players I watch now. Yeah. Like, and I would go on to say that it's not even close. Like for me, I enjoy collecting, picking up some cards of modern players. But I don't think I've ever bought I bought one Cale Makar card. I've bought one Cale Makar card. Okay, 2. Okay, now I'm remembering a second one. I collect some McDavid. I don't collect cards of some of the older guys, of course. I've been collecting, a few sets all over the years. And of course, my cup base patch parallels that I've got over 400 of now. Those are modern players, but for me, yeah, I much prefer to collect the players that I grew up watching. Recommendation for the best app for historical card pricing. Card Ladder, love to hear everyone's input. It says Penguins Collector. Feel free to give him your thoughts. You got Card Ladder, you've got eBay, of course, you've got 130 Point, Center Stage app that sponsors Sports Cards Live. You can use their app as well if you have an image. Professor says, give us Instagram preview sometime of your April Expo boxes. I will try to do that, Professor. I'm going to be doing an Expo preview show. That is going to be, I think, on the 20th. Let me just check that. Let you guys know what's coming up here. It's funny. I keep a note on my phone, here, and this is every episode of Sports Cards Live. So I can schedule ahead. And on April 20th. April 20th is the Expo preview show. And I have a few people joining me for that show. We've got Mikey, who works and runs the Expo with Steve Menzie. Mikey Singer will be joining for a little bit. He's been on before. The Sports Card Cartel is going to be joining for the Expo preview show. He will be a vendor at the show and has been for several years now. So Aton is his name. The Sports Card Cartel will be joining us. Amit, I have to think Amit will be joining as usual. And I'm going to also, I don't think I've let Sam know, but Sam, who sets up with me at Expo, he's kind of my booth partner. Sam will, if he's available, will be joining as well. But don't tell him yet because I haven't told him. I haven't even told him about it yet. But Cartel and Mikey Singer are confirmed for that. Next Saturday, we're going to be doing an episode of Sports Cards Live. And I leaked who the guest was last week. And should be an interesting episode. I'm looking forward to it. The guest is I hesitate. I know I've leaked it already, so I know some of you know, but I hesitate to leak it again. I will. Let's see some comments. Let's build up some suspense for those of you that don't know. Ali says it would be cool if one day we could see my showcase cards. For sure. Well, and what I usually do is when I set up the show, I will do a quick, video scan or a picture of each of my showcases and put those up on Instagram at least. I don't take a lot of content at card shows, and I know it would be, kind of fun to watch and stuff, but I find that I just don't get to it very often. Andrew, happy weekend to you as well. You liked the low-key Crosby artifacts that I picked up last week. One of my favorite inserts of the big rookies to PC. The low-key, I don't even know which Crosby artifacts you're referring to that I picked up. Which low-key Crosby artifacts did I just pick up? I got to go to my own Instagram to see what I have. See if I posted it on there. What did I post? Which low-key art? You picked up your first Future Watch, usually because the horizontally like, oh, the Future Watch autos are auto. Future Watch auto patches. The Future Watch autos are vertical. I'm usually anti because it is horizontal. So you picked up the Future Watch auto patch. Yes, Lantern. I am definitely setting up at Expo this year, at the Edmonton Expo. I will certainly be there. I will be there. I will have 2 booths at the Edmonton Expo, and I will have three friends with me sharing my 2 booths. And then I will also be manning and I guess representing the Slab Sharks booth. So I'm gonna have like a 4-booth square. Half will be, cards, me and my buddies, and then the other half will be representing Slab Sharks at the Edmonton show. So if anyone is looking to consign any cards with Slab Sharks, you can bring them to me at the Edmonton show. And even just come and let you know what it's all about. I'm going to be getting all the information from Karn here pretty soon. Andrew, yeah, we saw that one. Thank you. I thought last week I didn't buy a card last week on PWCC. Did Josh buy an Artifacts card? I didn't buy one. It was not me, Andrew. Okay, Chris Perkins offers us a random fun fact. Lars Eller has 2 different Future Watch cards. I don't know why. I seem to remember that happening. And I don't remember why right now. But what could have happened, Chris, is that the first batch got lost or stolen and they did another batch. That, might explain it unless there's another reason for it. But random. That is a random fun fact. Lars Eller had 2 of those. Yeah, for sure. Ellie, it would be nice to see some showcase cards. Well, I can show you guys some more cards. Let's see. Actually, I got a request from JP Zidane on Instagram. He said it would be nice if you could show some Grail cards. And he called out a couple that he asked me to show. So I do have some of my cards here. He wanted me to show this one. So I'll show you guys. I mean, this is one of my coolest cards that I own. Oh, wow. What did I miss all this? Okay, hold on a second. I missed a whole ton of comments here. Let me see what you guys are saying because I feel like I have some open-ended things here that I got to put a bow on. Andrew, you decided to spend do you know if you're setting up? Yes, I am. Future Watch, PWCC, fun fact. Oh, wait, maybe I didn't miss any comments. Last week, you picked up the Crosby on PWCC. You forgot it was a week ago. The PSA 7, you said you won it when we were live. Okay, never mind then. No, I didn't. I certainly didn't. I have not bought a card during that show. I was bidding on a card, but I didn't win it. I was bidding on a card. Oh, Professor. Okay. So here the Professor is calling out the Artifacts rookie, the Crosby Artifacts rookie PSA 7. Yeah, so I own a copy of that card. I love that card, and I own a copy of it, but I didn't buy that one that night, if that's what you're thinking of, Andrew. Yeah, okay, no, I didn't buy it that night. I mentioned that I own a copy. That's what I had said, yeah. And I do love the card. I think it's at a 750 for a Crosby rookie. When you compare it to, I'm always going to compare these cards, like the Trilogy or the Black Diamond or the Artifacts. I'm always going to compare those specific cards to the Young Gun because they're very similar. They're just your basic, 35 point kind of same price point brand cards. And I think out of 750 is just so many fewer than the Young Gun. That it's just one of those kind of value buys. Yeah, no, Don't think so. So for JP, who asked if I would show this card tonight, this is one of my, I think it's got to be one of my best cards that I own. It's a 2009 Exquisite Collection, tribute or flashback rookie patch auto of Wayne Gretzky. You guys want to? I'll show you this one. I'll show you. Boom. Yeah, this card doesn't. I don't bring it out too often. It's definitely. It's one of those cards that I just can't believe I have a copy of, and with a nice patch as well. The nice 3-color Oilers patch. The autograph is perfect. Absolutely perfect. The color is perfect. The consistency is perfect. Oh, he just nailed it there. So pretty. Oh. But that's not a showcase card. For Ali, that is not a showcase card. Here's a couple cards that I love, you guys. These are cards that if you haven't seen them, you would not expect them to exist. And I picked them up separately. I picked one of them up. So I'm gonna just give you a little bit of a teaser here. And I have shown these before, so some of you might remember them. But anyway, one card is Mario Lemieux, the other one is Wayne Gretzky. The Lemieux card I purchased in a collection that I got a long time ago, and this was just one of the cards in the collection, and I loved it. I'm like, that is so cool. I'm just going to keep that one for myself. One of the a fun part of buying a collection. And then the Gretzky. The Gretzky appeared on eBay, and I think I put out an Instagram post that day saying like, "Oh my god, a card just hit eBay, and I'm getting this card no matter what. I'm gonna go like mega bid 2,000 on this card." Well, these two cards are them. Speaking about cards with patches and no autos, but look at this pair of cards, you guys. Look at this pair of cards. They're from 2015. Ultimate Collection, Upper Deck Ultimate Collection, no autos. Where would you put an auto? You don't want autos on these. These are beautiful as is. But obviously, if you haven't picked up on it yet, what I love about them is that they're both in their All-Star jerseys, and both of the patches, you can basically see where from the picture of the jersey where those patches are from. Like, look at the star on the Lemieux, and then the stars on the jersey. That's one of those stars from right there. And of course, the Gretzky is likely from the shoulder patch of the NHL logo right there, the shield. They're both out of 10. And I've got a saved search on eBay basically for this set, looking for more cards from this set. And there's hardly any. There's a Crosby that's been up on eBay for a long time, but I just, I'm not willing to add it. But they don't have the only other cards from the checklist that I would add to this would be like, like an Yzerman or a Sakic or something like superstars like that. All-star pieces. That's what I would add. They'd have to be a really nice non-all-star piece for me to buy, but I love this pair of cards. Love this pair. And when this card ended on eBay, I probably put in a bid that was like way more than what I paid for it. I think I got this for like $400, 450, 461 seems to stick out in my mind. I probably put in a bid of like, I don't remember exactly, but I probably, knowing myself, I had to have this card. I was obsessing over it the whole week. It was listed. I would look at it several times a day. I think I probably put in a bid of like $2,000 or something. Had to make sure I was getting it no matter what. But this is not a showcase box. Are there any other cards that I can show you guys? I could, but nothing's jumping out at me as like really timely right now. And then the other card that JP asked me to show tonight is another graded card. Here's my box of call this box graded inserts. And the card that he asked to see out of here, he wanted to see was the Crosby. Let's see if I can find it quickly here. As I flip through, I got to flip through a bunch of cards to find just one right now. But this is a box of, here it is. The Crosby 2012 Lear Retro PMG Green. Great card. it's interesting. It was the sale of this card that kind of gave me the idea to do live auction coverage shows. It was watching this card sell on eBay one night, doing it live, that was like, oh wow, this is cool. This is fun. People might watch this. I find it interesting and entertaining. It was watching one of these sell live that started that. But for JP, there you go, buddy. Great card. This is a fun box. I'm not going to go through it all right now, but one of these days I've got lots of people that do requests like, oh, we'd love to, get more into your PC and see more of your cards. And it's like, it would take a long time to do it in one episode. So maybe I'm happy to share and show what my collection is like. But I don't think it can all be done at once. So I like to just do it slowly, a couple cards here and there. It's fun to share with everybody, especially if you want to see it. Let's see what you guys got here. Oh, wow. We're going to back it up. Okay, there's Professor's comment about the Artifacts Crosby, which did sell in PSA 7. Was it 7 or 7.5? PSA 7 for $312. Exceptional sports memorabilia says, thoughts on Crosby pre-NHL cards and long-term value. These do not exist for guys like Gretzky, Lemieux. So hard to make a comparison. Yeah, I don't have much faith in them personally. Exceptional sports memorabilia, nor do I for the Bedard stuff. I think that we've just seen it over and over again. We saw it with McDavid. I won't say over and over again, but we've seen it with Crosby already. We've seen it with McDavid that their pre-rookie stuff, it's popular at the time because it's all there is. But once the NHL licensed, their official team cards come out, the pre-rookie stuff just kind of doesn't do as well. People lose interest in it for sure. Ridiculous cards, says Skeppy. Nice Gretzky auto patch, says Mark. One of the best inserts, says Andrew. Grail card, says Lantern. Lantern says, when you buy collections, do you mostly buy in the Calgary area? Yeah, I do. I don't. I've traveled to buy a collection. I wasn't that far. It was, I think, where did I travel to? I just met somebody. I traveled for about 3 hours by car to buy a collection one time. That was about it, though, for me. I'm willing to travel if the deal is if the deal's big enough that warrants, spending money on travel. I would definitely do it. And I would be interested in, potentially looking at some collections that would be worthy of travel. Andrew says, I found the Pavel Bure Upper Deck game jersey, 96 PSA 9. My childhood Grail card came from an eBay seller in Australia. Right on. Andrew, I have a copy of it in there. I do. Mine is a 2-color patch. The grade, it's my grade is certainly not a 9. That's a tough grade for that card. Definitely a tough grade. Mine is a 2-color piece. Yeah, mine's a PSA 8. PSA 8. Ellie, remind me to never bid against you. Well, if it's a card, it's like it's just an instance where how do you value a card that you want so badly that isn't like a card that everybody wants so badly? You just got to bid what you got. I wasn't letting that card go. I just felt like I would never see a card like that ever again. To this day, it's one of my favorite cards. People, when people say if there was a fire, you can only grab a card or a couple cards, what would you grab? I often think of that Gretzky and Lemieux card as the 2 cards I would grab. It would be stupid because, I might love them, but, they're worth a fraction of what some other cards are worth. But still, they go through my head. I absolutely love them. Lantern, any platinum showcase cards? I don't think I have any. Well, yeah, I've got some, graded parallels from OPG Platinum that I think there might be a couple that are in my, Expo showcase card boxes. I collect modern, Andrew. I collect modern and vintage. Yeah, love it. I mean, by modern, I'm talking about, like 2000s, 2000 forward. I'm not talking about 19 or 2000. Sorry, I'm not talking about like 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. The modern stuff I collect is from like 2000 or, the 90s up until Well, up until, yeah, there is some modern stuff I do collect too, I guess. I like what Upper Deck does with inserts. And I like when the inserts have, the common inserts. I like when they have like that gold parallel or whatever color it is, out of 25 or out of 50. To me, there's some fun things there. And then I always think to myself, well, there's a pretty cool parallel, like the Allen, ALON, the Allen parallel from Metal Universe. I think, well, maybe I can do that. Or I also like the O-Pee-Chee Premier. They're like I don't even know what they call them. Let me check. But my point of this is that when I see a parallel or an insert, when I see an insert or a parallel of an insert that I really like, I will think I'll think in my head, okay, so who am I going to buy? What player do I want to buy from that? And of course, it's dependent on the checklist, but oftentimes you can get the players that I would like to get. And those players, to me, I always come back to them being Crosby, Ovechkin, and McDavid. And then I consider Matthews and McKinnon as well, but I don't often get to them when I do this. But the cards that I'm just thinking about right now, I'm trying to find here, these guys right here, these were from, I'm not sure these are from like 21, 22, I believe. But these are the gold, maybe it's called gold parallel of the insert from O-Pee-Chee Premier. I think these are inserts in O-Pee-Chee, like the paper product, but these are the numbered versions out of 99. So I got, in this case, I have the Ovechkin, the Crosby. Sorry, I have the Ovechkin, the Crosby, and the McDavid. And these are cool to me. I mean, they're modern cards. They're fun. They're nice. They're just fun. It's they don't break the bank. They don't nearly break the bank. They're just fun to collect. Have you ever pulled a banger out of a pack, or do you just buy singles? I haven't pulled very many bangers out of a pack, Ellie. I've gotten lucky I got really lucky in a group break one time where we broke one tin of the cup. This was so the guy who put on today's show in Calgary has a shop, and he used to do trader nights like the third Wednesday of every month sort of thing. And I went to it for years, 10 years running. I went to that thing on a monthly basis. And one night, and we'd do pack wars. We would do where he'd open up a box of. We do pack wars where everyone would take a pack of, say, SP Authentic, and someone would call out, okay, how are we going to decide who wins? Well, okay, you look at most goals one season. So y'all look at your pack, you look at the back of the cards and stats, you say, okay, whoever's got the card with a player or the most goals in one season wins everybody's packs. We used to do a lot of that. Well, we also did team selections, and when the cup came out in 2015-16, I was there one night and we did one tin of the cup, and it was sold by teams. I think it was it $20 a team or $12 a team, or back then it was probably 15 or $20 a team. I bought 3 teams, and one of the teams I got was the Edmonton Oilers. And the way you bought the teams was he'd have like a bucket with a bunch of little like mini coffee mugs with NHL team logos, and you put your hand in, you'd pull out a little big coffee mug and you'd hold it, and then you'd look, and that was the team that you would get. Anyway, I pulled out Edmonton, and as well as 2 other teams. I don't even remember what teams they were. They didn't matter at the end of the day. And it was 1 tin, not a case of six tins. It was 1 tin. And so anyway, he's opening the pack, Darren, and I know I've got the Oilers, and he's revealing the cards slowly. We're all live. It's not like you see now where everyone's online. We were all right there watching, and you see, first thing you see was Edmonton helmet, and anyway, the card ends up being a dual scripted swatches of Connor McDavid and Wayne Gretzky. That's what it ended up being. And I had so you think about the odds of this. Well, I bought 3 out of 30 teams, so I had a 10% chance of hitting the Oilers, which I did. And then we had a 1 in 6 chance of hitting the case hit, which we did. And then we had a 1 in whatever chance of the case hit being a dual auto patch rookie year Connor McDavid, Wayne Gretzky, which I no longer own. But that was probably my biggest hit out of a pack ever, Ali. Chris Perkins, Lemieux actually has pre-NHL card from juniors. Yeah, I think Brett Hall has one too that was popular for a long time. Thank you, Ali. I thank you. Appreciate that. Andrews is a black patch. Ryan Roddy, why don't you collect players from your favorite team, Calgary? I can't seem to want to buy players who haven't played for my favorite team. Good question. You know, I collected some Iginla. Like the Flames are my second favorite team of my life. You know, I didn't grow up here. I became a Flames fan in 2003. I'd lived in Calgary for about a year. And but I'd lived the first, 30 years of my life as a Winnipeg Jets fan until they left, of course. And it was heartbreaking when they left. So I collect Dale Hawerchuk and Teemu Selanne and, a few other pieces here and there. But those are two players that I still collect to this day because of, and they're probably my two favorite player collections to this day because that was my youth. When I moved to Calgary, Iginla, I still love Jarome Iginla. Who, if you know hockey, you love Jarome Iginla just as a professional and an athlete and just as a man and a person. But the problem I find with collecting my favorite players on my favorite team is that, first of all, I'm a fan of the team. I like the players, but the players aren't the team. I'm a fan of the jersey. I'm a fan of the Calgary Flames. But the bigger issue, and that's not really an issue, but the issue is that I find that, listen, I was thinking I'm going to collect Johnny Gaudreau. I was loving Johnny Gaudreau early on. But what happens, it's inevitable nowadays, in 95% of the cases, that's a guess, but that your favorite player moves on to another team. And then now what? Now what? Do you start to lose interest? So I will, that's why. And, if my favorite team was the Pittsburgh Penguins, you'd see me collecting more of my favorite team. If my favorite team was Colorado, or if my favorite team was Toronto or Edmonton, you would see me collecting more of my favorite team. I'm not, and I don't prospect. So, and right now, who's our best player? We don't have a best player right now. Blake Coleman, yeah, Kadri. I mean, these guys don't inspire me to collect. So, Kieran Crilly, what's going on? Great that you appear to keep your best cards close to hand. Many of us keep best items in safes. Yeah, mine go in and out, but I have them on leave a lot of the time. Only photos of items are what we can look at day to day. Tom Harrison, late to the chat because watching the Oilers. Are you going to set up at the Sherwood Park show? Yes, Tom Harrison. I will be at the Sherwood Park show. I will be set up there. Cannot wait. Very excited about it. I was at the Calgary show today, and you wouldn't believe how many people asked me today, are you getting ready for the Edmonton show? And I was like, well, I got to get through the Toronto Expo before I can start thinking about the Edmonton show. So, but yeah, I'm definitely excited. Okay. And see, right now, I want the Flames to lose so that we can improve our draft position. We're not going to make the playoffs. We're already eliminated. So the Flames lost to Edmonton 4-2. I'm okay with that, but I only want us to continue losing if Montreal and Ottawa could start to lose so that we could potentially, leapfrog them down the standings to improve our draft position. That's what's important to me right now. That's what I want to see happen. But I also like seeing that Sharon Govich has his 30th goal today. And I heard on the radio tonight that he's one of like 6 players ever in the history of the Calgary Flames to score 30 goals in his first season with the Flames. So that was neat to hear. Sharon Govich, love seeing him. Kuzmenko and Kadri, Huberdeau. I mean, all these guys getting points, and it is nice, but the Oilers still beat us. And, truth be told, even though I'm a Flames fan, if the Oilers won the Stanley Cup, I would not be disappointed, which a lot of my friends would be. I would not be disappointed because I think it would be good for the hobby and good for mine and everybody else's McDavid cards and Draisaitl cards and Skinner cards and whoever else. Skeppy says, would you rather pull a Grail card you're looking for or find the Grail card and get it for a great price? Assume the price was about the same. Would you rather pull a Grail card you're looking for or find? I mean, I would never, Skeppy, for me, that's a fun question. I think it's a really fun question, but I don't know that I can, it's weird. Like, I don't break enough to say would I rather do that? Like, I would never do that. I would never do that, Skeppy. So for me, I'm going to say that I would rather look for it and find it. Like, to me, there's thrill in searching every day for something. And it doesn't cost me any money every day to search online marketplaces to look for cards, where it would cost me a lot of money to open product every day to search for the card. So I mean, listen, if I had dumped, I was watching a video on Zeeree, Zeeree on YouTube the other day, where I don't know if you guys know this guy. I just found out about him, but Zeeree on YouTube, he finally pulled a Connor McDavid RPA, and it was like this guy was so happy. If you can watch this video, I don't even know how to, if I could, maybe I could find it in my history on my YouTube viewing history and share it with you guys. But this guy, I don't even know if it's a kid, if it's an adult, I'm not sure because there's no face, just the voice. But anyway, he got so happy that he finally pulled the McDavid RPA, and it was a very weak one. It wasn't from Cup. It was, I don't even remember what product it was. It wasn't a high-end product, I don't think. But he got so happy because he was like, finally, we did it. This guy was going crazy. It was so fun to watch, and I was so happy for the guy. But it felt like he had been opening product, like a ton of product. I don't know, and I don't know what he opened because I hadn't seen a lot of his stuff. But from what I watched in this snippet of video, I felt like he could have been opening McDavid rookie year product for months, hoping to hit an RP, and he finally hit it, and he was so happy. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, but if that card's worth $3,000, you probably spent $25,000 looking for it. So, what would I rather do? I'd rather just find the card I want and buy it, because that search would be thrilling and finding it would be thrilling. David Kaplan mentions Connor Zary of the Calgary Flames. Yeah, he had slowed down in his rookie season, but he was centering the top line today. And I didn't watch the game, but I heard that he was pretty good. So that's good to hear. He's exciting for Flames fans. Andrew says, I enjoy watching Sharon Govich. Yeah, him and Kuzmenko have fit in really nicely here at those just pre-trade deadline trades. Name's too long. Name is very long. Yeah, name is very long. But he's got a great personality too, Sharon Govich. And so does Kuzmenko. I think we did pretty well in both of those deals. Dave Kaplan with your Vancouver Canucks taking Elias Lindholm for Kuzmenko. We also got some other assets too. Mark Santucci would be great for the Oilers for Canada if the Oilers win the Cup. I agree. Heavy. What do you think about the short turnaround from the Toronto show to the Edmonton? Do you wish there was more time in between? I mean, I don't really care. I'm actually, for me, it's okay, Heavy. I'm looking forward to that. That's, for that like 10-day span where it's just card show after card show. I'm excited for those 2 weeks. And for me, it's beautiful because I'm going to fly to Toronto on Wednesday, the 24th, the day before the show starts. I land like 5:00 and do the show Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Fly out Monday. It's actually my birthday that weekend. My birthday is actually the Sunday of Expo. So I'm going to be celebrating my birthday at the Expo. And then I'm going to fly home, I'm going to fly home on Monday, the 29th. And then I'm going to drive to Edmonton with my buddy. My buddy's coming, and I'm going to drive with him. I'm going to see other buddies there. So it's different because I'm going to drive. So I get to take more stuff, and I can't wait for that stretch of time, Heavy. But as for the week between, there's no, the issue is just and I've talked to the guys who run the Expo about this, they are so limited in their options of what weekends they can get for what, that it's like, and I'm not saying this is it, but it's almost like, okay, well, you can either have for, Toronto's like, you got to pick it way in advance. Now you're going to, and it's not like you have to pick of the calendar. These shows are booked years in advance. These convention centers are booked up way ahead. So it's as good as it's going to be. It's not, again, it just comes down to the show promoters, the show organizers do not just have their pick of dates for when they want to have their shows. So I don't think it's ideal for them either, but I'm okay with it. Craig's Card says Zeeree is funny. Yeah. I just found out about Zeeree, Dave Kaplan. Just found out about Zeeree. Ali knows his channel. Okay, you guys all know about him. Andrew knows. Ali says he opens a ton. Robert Scott knows Zeeree. Super entertaining. Mark Santucci, never heard of Zeeree. None of my guys talked about him. Does he show vintage cards or newer ones? Andrew says probably GP's product. Professor says Zeeree is an adult and does personal breaks and helps you understand the checklist of newly released products. Yeah, I mean, that's all I watched was hands like the camera was in front, was on his hands, and he was opening up packs of cards, talking about them. Very knowledgeable from the few, literally of, you know, Ziri's got a lot of subscribers from what I remember. And from what I gathered from maybe I watched 2 of his videos. I think what he does is just open packs and show you what he gets and talks about them. And then he puts like overlays on the screen, which are entertaining as well. And the editing, this is what I think makes him so, you know, easy to watch and consumable, is that the editing, it's like, it's bang, bang, bang. You know, when he opens a pack, he accelerates the parts where there's no card. Like, even if, like, I don't know how long that takes this guy to do, or if he outsources it, the editing, but the editing is impressive. Really cool. Craig's Card says Ziri is an older guy who rips all sorts of random packs. Kaplan says Ziri is sponsored, probably doesn't pay for a lot of product. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Just like Pac-Man, right? Who I think his channel is all about opening product as well. Ali, good to see you. Thank you for joining. We'll see you again. Have a good night. Professor says Ziri has 64.3 thousand subscribers and 1,300 videos. Yeah, that's a pretty big channel. But it's that editing is absolutely superb. All right, guys. I'm at the bottom of the comments. We're an hour 46. I didn't think we'd go this long, but I'm going to sign off. I hope this was fun. Kind of felt like it started off slow for me. Wasn't sure what exactly to talk about, and I was really sort of disheveled getting here after being out. But gotta say, the last hour I've thoroughly enjoyed myself, just talking about the Hall of Fame classes and some fun questions from you guys. So I gotta say thank you all so much for entertaining me tonight and giving me some great questions and just things to think about and talk about. And don't forget Expo. Expo's coming up. Professor, thank you for being here. Craig, thank you. Guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Mark gives another 5-star episode. I'm just checking for the first time where you all are watching. I see we've got about 50 people on YouTube and about 40 people on Twitter at the moment, or on X, joining us. So, and I didn't manage to also multi-stream this little sit down to Instagram. So we didn't have any Instagram crowd tonight. Skeppy, good night to you. Craig, let us know what they set the Bedard Young Guns price. That was great, hey? That was great. Mark, I can tell you're on YouTube. You can see the little YouTube logo within your M on the screen right now. That tells me you're on YouTube. Yeah, we're not getting comments from Twitter, but there's lots of people watching on Twitter. So I want to just throw out the hello to all of them again. No need to comment if you don't want to. All good. Just glad you guys are here. Andrew says Toronto Expo is on my bucket list, but we have the Edison Card Show next week here in New Jersey. A few hundred tables and appearances. That sounds like a really nice show. A couple hundred tables. Should be fun. Thank you, Robert Scott. Thank you. Kieran Crilly, thank you. Watching from Belfast, Northern Ireland this morning. How is that? How cool is that? Kieran is watching us in Ireland right now. I love it. Well, good to see you again. Kieran's been popping in and out here for years, it feels like. So good to see you, Kieran Crilly. All right, guys, that's it. We're going to end it. Thanks for joining. I'm going to go hit the sack. And tomorrow night is going to be a fun PWCC hockey show with all of the C55s and C56s going off tomorrow night. So we'll be back then. All right. Have a good rest of your night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. This episode of me solo after hours, Sports Cards Live, on this Saturday night, April the 6th, 2024 is over. Thanks, Jeremy. I see that. Thanks, Junk Wax Museum. Hey, I said it was over. I didn't click end. So I'm just happy to see the comments come in. Appreciate that, Jeremy. Junk Wax Museum. Thank you, guys. Seattle. Junk Wax Museum in Seattle. Awesome. Okay. Over. Good night. See you later. Thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody.